Si Franz Castro, nag-file ng grave threat dahil nga doon sa pinanood. And ngayon, nagkaroon na ng panalo ang Digong dahil dinismiss ng QC prosecutor yung kasong grave threat. O, paano ngayon niya? I think, mga kotsero, this is you can call it a well-deserved win, di ba? Para sa kampo ng mga DDS. Kasi they really need this win, mga kotsero. Maniwala kayo sa hindi. They need this win. Kailangan nila to. So, ito ngayon yung balita. So, ito nga. So, ang naging drama is, itong grave threat, ipinail yung kaso. Dapat hindi na nila ginawa yan. Kasi alam nyo, mga kotsero, sigurado kasi yung talo dun eh. Dito. Sigurado yung talo dyan eh. Sigurado yung talo niya dyan eh. Kasi ang hirap i-prove ng grave threat niya. Ang hirap kasi i-prove ng grave threat niya. Sobrang hirap. Panoorin natin yung balita, guys. Ito yung sinabi ng balita. QC prosecutor. Sana. Yan.
In a recent development, the Quezon City Prosecutor's Office has dismissed the grave threats complaint filed by ACT Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro against former President Rodrigo Duterte. In a 14-page resolution, the prosecutor stated that there was insufficient evidence to indict Duterte for the alleged
Indict.
The purported threats were said to have occurred during a tumultuous period marked by the controversy surrounding the confidential fund and a brewing impeachment move against Duterte's daughter, Vice President Sara Duterte. The prosecutor noted that in such a charged atmosphere, it would be natural for the president to express disappointment and defend his daughter from what he perceived as political attacks. The resolution also highlighted the unusual nature of death threats being made in a public setting. It suggested that in the context of political discourse, statements might be construed differently, and not all expressions should be treated as literal threats. Meanwhile, President Castro, upon learning of the dismissal,
President Castro?
she could not comment on the issue at the moment.
Wait.
Consult with her legal upon learning of the dismissal threats. Meanwhile, President Castro, upon statements might be construed differently, and not all expressions should be treated as literal threats. Meanwhile, President Castro, upon learning of the dismissal, stated that she could not comment on the issue at the moment to consult with her legal counsel.
Sumbong kay Kuya Daniel Rason yan. LOL. So, yun na nga. Binasura na nga ng what do you call this? QC Prosecutor's Office. So, ano yung sinabi? Ito yung kaso. Ito yung decision mismo. Ayan. Decision yan. Representative Franz L. Castro versus Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Ayan. Di ba? May nagpadala sa atin. Thank you very much po sa nagpadala sa akin. It's very much appreciated. Ayan. Grave threats under Article 282. So, ito yung well, I did a broad stroke reading. Broad strokes lang, hindi ko masyadong nabasa. Pero wala naman masyadong detalye na dito, makukuha. Siyempre, merong background. Yung claim ng complainant is si Frank Castro. Yan. Siya yung complainant. Sinabi niya, kinuwento niya na dahil daw dun sa deliberation tungkol sa confidential funds, yung pagbatigo sa budget ng Office of the Vice President, etc., etc. Dahil daw dun, tinreten daw siya dito ni former President Rodrigo Duterte. Ayan. Sinabi niya dito. Yung kung anong episode, ayan, nandiyan lahat. Pati title, nandiyan pa rin. O, di ba? Kasi ito daw yung sinabi niya. Siyempre, well-quoted. May mga abogado siya dito eh. Abogado niya sila, ano, di ba? Sila, ang pangalan nun? Nasa isip ko yung mukha niya, pero makalimutan ko yung pangalan. Anyway, basta siya. Yung counsel, na din sa ilalim yung counsel. Wait. Counsel is Tony Lavinia. Ayan, si Tony Lavinia. Tapos, yun, si Tony Lavinia, Domingo Lavinia, Kalumpong, Yambot, tsaka Tolentino Asarcon. Ayan. Dami niya abogado, no? Ilan to? Babayaran ba niya to? O ano to? Pro bono? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lawyers. Grabe. Ba talaga pag congressman? Ito na ngayon yung sinabi. Yan. So, kinote nila yung sinabi ni Digong. Ito yung sinabi. So, prangkahin mo na yan si Franz Castro, pati na yung kung sa bagay, kaibigan ko lahat yan, si Satura Campo. Mahal ko sila at no other time sa history ng Pilipinas, ang Communist Party of the Philippines, lahat ng liderato nila. Invited them to break bread with me sa Malacanang. Mahal pala ni Digong yung CPP-NP. Anyway, I invited them to break bread with me sa Malacanang. I opened the gate, tinapasok ko sila Satur, lahat, dahil kaibigan ko. Kaibigan doon silang lahat. Pero hindi ko sinasabi na harap-harapan. Hindi ko sinabi na, alam mo, magkalaban tayo, gusto kitang patayin, but I want to kill you softly. Kasi magkaibigan, pinakain ko nga kayo dito eh. Sabi ko kay Inday, diretsuhin mo na, itong intelligence fund na ito is to prepare the minds of the Filipinos. Itong insurgency na hindi matapos-tapos and the ROTC para preparado kayo. Kung magkagera, ganito sitwasyon, pag wala tayong sundalo, meron tayong mga bata who will take care of their respective barangay to help the government. Pero ang una mong target, ang una mong target dyan sa intelligence fund mo, kayo, ikaw, Franz, kayong mga komunista ang gusto kong patayin. Sabihin mo sa kanya. Ito yun. Ito na yung grave threat. Yan. Tapos, according to the complainant, ayan sabi, throughout the interview, the respondent also made several statements and insinuations linking her to the Communist Armed Movement. So, red tagging na naman, etc., etc. Tapos, ang daming sinabi. The complainant emphasized that she cannot just ignore respondent's threat to her life, liberty, and security as something that he merely said to his daughter, considering that in this very episode, subject of the complainant and in other public statements that he made before, during, and even after his tenure as president of Davao City, as president and Davao City mayor, he admitted to personally killing those who he considered as communist and that he used secret funds to do so. Yun yung argumento ng kabila. May intelligence fund ako eh. Di pinapatay ko kayong lahat. I don't think that's how intelligence fund should be used. Paano mo i-audit yan, di ba? Paano mo i-explain? Anyway. So, yun yung una. Tapos, pinakita rin yung pangalawa. Ito, on December 4, 2023, sagikan para sa masa din. Tapos, threaten her, for the second time, threaten her on November 16, 2023. Final daw, December 4, 2023, dahil, supplementary complaint, or supplemental complaint, dahil pinagbantaan na naman daw siya noong November 16. 2023. So, yun. So, 2 counts of grave threat. Natawa ko dito, FPRRD, ito yung tinitle ni SMNI dun sa video. She was able to access and see in the Facebook post the episode entitled FPRD, The Presidency is a Gift from God. Yun yung sinabi ni FPRD. Regalo daw yung pagiging presidente sa Panginoon. Galing Panginoon. Sinong Panginoon ba? Si Kibuloy. Si Kibuloy ba yung nagbibigay ng presidency? Joke lang. Joke lang. Baka mapiko na naman mga DDS sa atin. Joke lang joke lang. Lagi na lang sa napipikon sa akin. Anyway, ito naman sinabi ni Digong. Hawak ni Romualdez yung Congress ngayon na if the congressman will follow the speaker, go ahead. Impeach the vice president. You'll do her a favor. Alam mo bakit? Kung gawin niyo yan, pagtakbo, kung tumakbo si Inday, maski walang partido, president na yan. You know, just to remind everybody, the presidency is a gift from God. Maniwala kayo, yung si pastor, buhay man kayo lahat. Sinong maniwala sa inyo, maging president ako? Udyok na. Do not think, France, na you have already na may armor ka na dahil congresswoman ka, member ka ng Congress. Na hindi ka na you are no longer, na hindi ka na vulnerable sa galit ng karami na matay dyan na sundalo, pati police dahil sa'yo. Ayun. Ito yung naka-highlight. Grave threat din ba yan? Sinabihan ka na maraming namatay na police dahil sa'yo. Parang hindi naman grave threat yan. But anyway, Kibuloy gives side comments. Ito sa huli. Kaya ikaw, France, how do you solve the problem now? Yung mga patayan nga daw ng mga NPA. Kaya yung statement ko, yung komunista dapat patayin. Kasali ka dapat. Kasali daw siya dapat. Sa mamamatay. Dahil komunista siya. Dapat kasali ka dyan. So yun. So yun yung dalawang counts. Yun yung 2 counts. Now, tapos ito ngayon yung decision. Ito yung importanteng parte, mga kochero. Oo. So, respondents claim, alam na natin yan. Alam na natin yung sinabi dito ni Digong. Ano lang daw yan? Kumaga, nagre-react lang daw siya sa... Dito sa unang episode daw, kung saan sinabi niya, kinuwento lang daw niya yung usapan nilang mag-ama, which is a private matter. So, kinuwento lang daw niya yun. Sa pangalawa, it's parang a sarcastic comment. Yun ang sinasabi niya. Sarcasm lang yan. Walang ano yan. Walang katotohanan yan. Hindi niya i-execute yan. Kumbaga, parang gano'n. Alam naman si Digong. Si Digong, king of hyperbolic statements yan. Mahilig yan sa mga ganun. So, ano ngayon na naging decision? Ito ngayon naging decision ng ating QC prosecutor. After a careful and judicious evaluation of the allegations and evidence obtaining in the complaint, the undersigned finds the same to be insufficient to indict respondent for the crime charged against him. Kulang daw yung ebidensya. Insufficient. Wala rong kulang yung ebidensya to convince the prosecutor na meron talagang totoong pagbabanta sa buhay ni Frank Castro. Yun. Yun yung sinabi ng ating QC prosecutor. Ano daw yung naging basis nila? Una, the grave threats referred to by the complainant in the complaint pertains to the third mode. Ito, third mode. Ayan, threatening another with the infliction upon his person, honor, or property, or that his family, or any person amounted to crime, the threat not being subject to a condition. Kinuwento ko na yan dati pa. Sa dati kong vlog, kung ano ibig sabihin yan. Balikan nyo lang yung video ko na yung gusto nyo. So, ibig sabihin, yung sinabi daw ni Digong falls under the third kind of grave threat. Ayan. Ito yung pangatlo. Okay. Tapos, so sinabi yung elements, ano yung mga elemento para masabi na yung grave threat na under number 3 is valid or merong cause para kasuhan ka ng ganong klaseng krimen. Ayan yan, nakasulat na dyan. Diniscuss ko na rin yan before. So, balikan nyo lang yung video. Dumiretso na lang tayo sa sabihin ng prosecutor. Anong sinabi ng prosecutor? Eto. This office, sabi, finds the evidence insufficient to indict respondent for grave threats inasmuch as the requisite elements for the crime appear to have not been sufficiently and concretely established contrary to what the claimant wanted to impress upon this office. So, hindi raw, kulang daw. Kulang daw yung elemento, kulang. Hindi raw nagawa itong mga elemento na ito, itong tatlong ito. Yan, yung offender threatens another person with infliction upon the person's honor, upon the latter's person, honor, or property, kasama yung pamilya. The wrong amounts to a crime, and the threat is not subject to a condition. Wala raw silang nakitang ganyan. Kulang daw. So, bakit daw nila nasabing kulang? Kasi, the way or the manner by which the respondent, si Digong, stated the subject threatening remark statements on the assumption that they were uttered and accurately quoted and or depicted by the complainant, most particularly the words, phrases used by the respondent in conveying his message, do not convincingly establish that indeed respondent intended them to be taken seriously. Yon. Ang sabi ng QC prosecutor, yung mga sinabi naman ni Digong, sabihin na natin na quote-unquote threatening remark. Pero hindi siya dapat sineseryoso. Sabi. Hindi naman siya sineseryoso. Maski nung nagsasalita. And that they were deliberately made for the purpose of creating in the mind of the complainant the belief that the threats will be carried into effect. Ibig sabihin, malabo. Malabo na, una, hindi siya convincing na it's a threat, number one. At di siya sineseryoso. Pangalawa, malabo rin na maipagpatuloy niya yun, na maging totoong murder ang mangyayari. Sabi, if the intention of the respondent was really to intimidate and to take seriously such threatening remarks or statements, and that his purpose was to create in the mind of the complainant the belief that the alleged threats will be carried into effect, he would not have taken so much prologues and would have just directly and immediately pronounced the threats conceived in his mind. Ibig sabihin, kung seryosohin nitong respondent, si Digong, kung totoong pagbabanta yung kanyang gagawin, hindi na siya magpapaligoy-ligoy pa. Hindi na niya sasabihin pa na, nag-usap na kami ng anak ko, ito yung sinabi ko, etc., etc., etc. Patayin nyo na lahat yan. Hindi na siya dadaan sa ganun. Sasabihin na lang niya, Franz Castro, mag-ingat-ingat ka, papatayin kita. Papatayin kita one of these days. Yun ang grave threat. Grave threat yun. Kung yun ang sinabi ni Digong, out of the blue, nag-uusap sila ni Kibuloy, bigla siya nagsalita. Alam mo, Frank Castro, busit na ako sa'yo dahil sa pagiging komunista mo eh. Tinitira mo pa yung anak ko eh. Papatayin kita. Hintay ka lang. Yun, great threat yun. Yan ibig sabihin. The fact that the respondent made so much preliminaries, side stories, comments, and even interjecting sarcastic jokes. Pati daw joke. In between them and using terms in jest and in banter with the program host Apollo Kibuloy only indicates that he is not that serious enough to really execute and materialize the threats allegedly conceived in his mind. Yun. Yan. So, walang intent. Di ba, tatlo nga yung requisite for a crime. Intent, intelligence, and the act. Yun. Patay. Yun yun. Wait lang ha. Moreover, it has to be remembered. Ito rin yung pangalawa. So, yun yung una. Hindi raw siya seryoso kasi parang hindi naman doon nakitaan ng intent, ng intention na seryoso talaga yung threat. Number 1. Number 2, dahil daw sa gitna ng confidential fund issue, ayan, ito na yun. Ito yung pangalawang dahilan. Ang sinabi ng ating QC Prosecutor's Office, in fact, it would appear that the respondent's heightened emotions when he uttered or stated the alleged threatening statements were seemingly triggered by such issues due to the various politically motivated attacks against her daughter. Yun. So, yun yung pangalawa. Una, dapat hindi raw siya sineseryoso dahil wala naman dong intent. Pangalawa, hindi nakitaan ng intent. Pangalawa, it's understandable dahil yung anak mo nga naman, it's being politically attacked. Yun. Yung sabi ng prosecutor. Tapos meron pa ditong sinabi, sabi, besides, madagdag ko lang, sabi ng prosec. Madagdag ko lang. The office finds it unusual, if not ridiculous, for a person to make public pronouncement of death threats or perpetuate threatening remarks. If he is that serious and deliberate enough in actualizing or effectuating such threats conceived in his mind, considering that such individual, like herein respondent, is already in an advanced age and not anymore immune from criminal prosecution, as he is not anymore the incumbent president of the country. Sabi. Pangatlo. Parang sa usapang kalsada ba? Sabi ng prosec. Nakakatawa naman isipin na yung isang matanda, at alam niya na hindi na siya pangulo at wala siyang immunity, mag-iisip pa na gumawa ng grave threat na alam niyang makakasuhan siya. Parang gano'n. Yun yung sinabi. Tapos, ano ba? Pangatlo is, dahil daw nakuha sa Facebook yung ebidensya, yung video evidence. Nakuha lang daw sa channel ng SMNI at yung isa ay sa re-upload ng isang Alfred Ang. Parang sinabi yung pangalan niya, Alfred Ang. Dapat daw properly inauthenticate. Ayan, Such being the case, and in order for that the subject threatening remarks be given due evidentiary value, the same should have been properly authenticated. Unfortunately, the complainant in this case failed to obtain the necessary authentication or certification from Facebook, YouTube, or the SMNI, for that matter, regarding the authenticity of such Facebook post, YouTube upload, and or SMNI television broadcast. Ayan ha. Alam nyo na, pag magko-complain kayo ng isang krimen na ginawa online, ipa-authenticate nyo. Ipa-authenticate nyo, alam nyo na ha. Ipa-authenticate nyo kay Facebook, kay YouTube, or kahit doon sa gumawa ng video kay SMNI. So yan, pa-authenticate nyo. Absent of any proper authentication, this office cannot just take on its face value the genuineness and veracity of the subject threatening remarks, utterances, and statements allegedly perpetrated by the respondent. Most especially so that it constitutes, so to speak, the corpus delicti, or the body of the crime. of the crime subject of the case. Yan. So, paano na lang yung naniniwala sa video ng pulburon? Wala lang, maisingit ko lang. Maisingit ko lang, wala lang. Maisingit ko lang ba? Gusto ko na isingit eh. Oh, ano na? Kailangan mag-check natin yung genuineness and veracity ng video. Hindi pwedeng nanggaling lang sa bunganga, sa mabahong bunganga ng isang vlogger. Malisyosang bunganga ng isang vlogger. Gano'n. Hindi pwedeng ganun lang. Hindi pwedeng ganun lang. Kailangan, pa-authenticate nyo. Ganun. Di ba? Sky CSR. Coach naman, moment nila to, sinira mo pa. O nga, no, moment nga pala nila to. Sorry na agad. Sore na. Sore na. Lalo. Okay, ano ba ba? Well, basically yun na yun eh. Basically yun na yun. Yun na talaga yun. So, yun. So, basically yun na yun. Sa vlogger na 1 month di naligo. Sino yan? Totoo yan? Ay, hindi ko alam yan ha. Pero bang gano'n? Grabe siya. Totoo ba yun? Anyway, balik tayo. Dito muna tayo ito. Ay, di ko. So, yun. So, yan na yung ano. Yan na yung buong ano. Dokumento. So, yan. So, dismissed. Wherefore, premises considered the above caption complaint is recommended dismissed for want of sufficient evidence. Ayan. Paano ba yan? At least may isang panalo ang ano, mga DDS ngayon. At least for 2024. Nakaisa na kayo. Oh, good news yan. Good news yan, mga kutsero. Good news yan. Ang nakakatawa na naman, ito na naman, meron na naman sinabing ano, kabobohan na naman to si Frank Castro. Ano na naman sinabi ni Frank Castro? Ako, konsulta muna ako sa abogado. Ba't ka pa kukonsulta sa abogado? 5 abogado mo. Ay, agoy. Oh, wala pa umano natatanggap si ACT Teachers Representative Frank Castro, na kopya ng desisyon ng Quezon City Prosecutor's Office na nagbabasura sa reklamong inihain niya laban kay dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Ang nakakatawa dito, mga kotsero, talagang kinarir niya yung drama-drama dito. May press release pa, ano-ano, di ba? Yun lang. Sorry. Sinabi ni Castro na kukonsultahin din ito ang kanyang mga abogado kaugnay ng desisyon na nabalitaan ito sa media. Pwede naman siya mag-file ng ng motion for reconsideration. Bahala siya. File siya, MR. Tapos kapag dinismiss pa rin ng prosecutor's office, appeal siya sa CA, Rule 65. Ay, hindi, ano na pala yun, sa Supreme Court pala yun. Question of tawag dito. Mahirap na yan. Mahirap eh. Pero, happy na lang ako na natalo ang mga dilawamping CPP. Talo sila ngayon 2 beses. Sa Sandigan Bayan, tsaka sa QC Prosecutor's Office. Huwag niyo kalimutan, mga kotsero, ang totoong kalaban, mga dilawamping CPP. Sila ang totoong kalaban. Yung mga DBS, tinaano ko lang yan kasi wala, sarap nila asarin eh. Masarap pa sila asarin yung pag nag-aano sila na best president ever. Again, mga kotsero, hindi ako, sumusuporta naman ako kay Digong at kay VP Sara. It's just that, OA kasi yung mga DBS parang, di ba, kapag puring-puri sila kay Digong, tapos kapag may ginawang maganda yung admin, hindi counted. Yun, anong BS yan? Di ba? Anong BS yan? Hindi pwedeng ganun. Huwag ipokrito. Di ba? So, kaya yun. Anyway. Ako happy na lang ako na natalo sila sa Sandigan Bayan, doon sa ill-gotten wealth case, tsaka doon sa dito sa ano, saan ba to? Sa grave threat ni Frank Castro. Happy na ako doon. Okay na ako. Okay na ako doon. Okay na. Ayan. Ayan, maraming po salamat sa inyong patuloy na pagsuporta sa ating channel. Please don't forget to subscribe to our Coach Jared YouTube channel. And follow rin po tayo sa ating Facebook page. And I'll see all of you in our next Coach Jared Live. But again, mga Coach Jared, I'll see all of you in our next Coach Jared Live. God bless you and see you next time, guys. Bye!